an area devoted to the aspects of technological innovation. We do all the aspects of intellectual property, information technology, technology transfer, and so forth. We launched this innovation portfolio Cruz, which shows some of the numbers and aspects of this result. It's still very modest when you think of developed countries, but for Brazil it's significant that we have a total of 73 patents in Brazil, and about 150. These numbers have to be updated in other countries, having this total of 220 patents. And we have already products which were developed within Cruz already going to the market. The pattern of production, especially in the area of vaccine, was more of internalized mature technology. Now we're moving to a new stage that we are developing technology with partnerships both from other Brazilian universities and labs, but also with international companies. And one of the very important, just to give you an example, is the fact that we're developing a vaccine for dengue with the company GSK. And we are doing also with the Cubans products such as pointing and others products. So we're moving from a stage of predominantly internalizing technology to the possibility of having the development since the beginning in our country. And we also, it's important to notice that there is a new attitude because of the magnitude of the Brazilian market, because of the fact that the health ministry has a very important buying power, because this new productive policies is now shaped in Brazil. There is a very important change of attitude of the big pharma in terms of coming to the possibility of developing together with Brazilian institutions. Before, hardly would be able to convince these companies to do this work together, and they were just thinking of selling their products, or a few of them just internalize mature products. I think this is very important to think of a new stage of Brazil is going through. These are just to illustrate some of the new developments we're having that has a very important impact in terms of the chain of innovation in Brazil. This is one that is being built. Moreover, we'll be talking about it. We have some problems because of in terms of the chronogram of this, the timetable of this building. But it will be a very important area for that stage that I showed in the innovation system of Cruz related to the pre-development and the preclinical research. Here is our plant for the production of drugs, which is in another campus in the western area of Rio de Janeiro. This is the prototype center which will be inaugurated this year. And this is a unit there which produces especially kits for diagnosis, and which is located in the state of Paraná. Some examples of Cruz public and private partnerships. As I told you, we have not only with big pharma, international ones like Glaxo, Pfizer, Bristol, and so forth, but also with national labs such as Cristania, Globe, and so forth. And the products we'll be developing, they are decided which products together with the health ministry and also with that group that I mentioned, the GCs. So this is a way that shows in a very concrete way how this link between health demands, incorporation of technology in Brazil, the way this is funding, which is supported by many different agencies, and so forth, and also the wide spectrum of countries and companies that we have partnership with. As you may see, some of these were very important, not only in what we call the neglected diseases, which were the diseases that the big pharma didn't have any interest in research or having production because the market was so small. It was the diseases that affect the poor people in poor countries, most of them. But also we have for important what would be disease of the developed countries or worldwide disease such as AIDS. We are moving in terms of the cancer. In this case here, the imatinib is very important. I will pinpoint this as an important example. These are some of the areas, except also in terms of vaccines, diagnosis, biopharmaceuticals, the demand that we have. And this is an example that we brought in terms of the cancer area. And one important feature is the growing area of generics. Generics now it's responsible for a very important market and has come to address also some important aspect of costs in terms of supporting the health system in Brazil. And we are moving with the discussion of what would be the equivalent of generics in the area of biopharmaceuticals. And this case is important because it's a very important biopharmaceutical. The patent expired in April 2012, this year. And we had a public expenditure savings just by doing this in a 5-year period of 338 million reais. And also a very important effect in terms of our foreign exchange savings, because this is always important. It is a very cost product. I mean, the price was very high because it had the monopoly of a foreign country. And it's important to think in this case because we'll be together with other Brazilian institutions and labs being able to have the domain of the complete production from the whole chain in Brazil. And of course, always using the public purchase power to guarantee that this will be an important investment. And this is very important so that people will have better possibilities of coping with the risk of innovation, which is very high. Well, an important aspect that we are doing is we have an agreement of the BNDES, which, as I mentioned before, the importance of BNDES for the development of Brazil, and also not only Brazil, nowadays in terms of South America and in other areas, even in the African continent. And we had an agreement to think the strategic development of the health industrial complex, and now we are moving to try to set up an agreement related to neglected diseases. The idea is to have all the 14 of the neglect disease that WHO, the World Health Organization, lists with the criteria they adopt. We have 14 of the 23 neglect diseases that they list. And we will have for each one a study that will characterize which is the kind of the demand, epidemiological demand, which products are needed or which technology is needed to cope with that. And then we will have specific projects that we hope that will be funded to develop these. And this will be done also together with the NDI, which is the Drugs for Neglected Disease Initiative, a worldwide initiative that has a very important impact in neglected disease. Also, we have this other agreement related to environment and development. And in all these cases, question the innovation ways of bringing together the development model with the social model will be present. Just a few remarks to the idea that Cruz as a national agency, and the fact that in this crossroad between the health and the science and technology field, plays an important role not only in making the activities it does directly, but also as a role to make corporations think in terms of regional development, partnerships with different areas of that deals with pharmachemicals, with biopharmaceutical research and development, and so forth. So our mission has these two aspects of supporting directly with research, with production of the health field, but also having a strategic role in terms of the development of the area in Brazil, and also strengthen North-South and North-South-South cooperation. I won't go into details because of the time, but this has been a very important area, and some of the examples that international literature pinpoints as very significant, Cruz and Brazil is involved, with the Cubans, with the possibility, as in the case of Mozambique and so forth. Well, thank you very much. I think because of the time, we don't have the chance to have questions. It would be better to move to